Am I on? I'm rolling. Okay, so let's talk about the Batman. Now, stay with me through this whole video because I need your feedback on it because I'm wondering if you agree with me or if I'm wrong, why I'm wrong, all that stuff. Give me all that in the comments. Okay, so now the Batman is starting to get mixed reviews, even though by and large what I've seen from critics is that it's a really good film. I think the film is absolutely fantastic. I think actually it's almost flawless. I really do. It is. The storytelling is fantastic. The cinematography is amazing. And the sound design, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's so good. So good. So why do some people hate this film? Now, here's the interesting thing. And I've said this before. Let me switch hands here. My fingers are hurting. All right. I've said this before. The problem is this. The DC fandom is split. And why? Because the Batman and the Supermans and the folks that we see right now that are given darker dispositions are not what they were at their original conception. And I think that DC fans are split by that. You have half of the fandom that wants to see DC stay in its lane of origin, where the characters were a lot more campy, where they were not dark, where they always figured out the problem. They were not, they were flawless, right? They were perfect. And that was kind of the time that they were created in. That's what they did with superheroes. Superheroes didn't really have real world problems. So now that we've transitioned to these darker iterations of characters, and I believe really the first dark iteration of Batman we've gotten was from Frank Miller. Correct me if I'm wrong, if someone knows otherwise, but people tend not to like it as much because it's not what they're used to. So it's fascinating, right? Because I feel like what we're seeing is the cinematic transition of DC heroes, and not even really just cinematic, in comics as well, where they have a darker edge, where they are more grounded, where they are more accessible to those that read the characters. And accessibility when it relates to superheroes, in my opinion, is giving superheroes flaws. Is giving superheroes real world problems that you and I have. That makes them accessible to us, right? We can relate to them. But I don't think people like that. I think there are a vein of people that want to see them not have to deal with these real world problems, that want to see them as perfect and whole beings. And now we're getting to see them as broken, as fractured. Batman is a great example of that, of folks that have real problems that can't be fixed with superpowers. So that's the problem that we're having with Batman. Some people don't like the leaning in to the darker side of Batman. I, for one, thought it was fantastic. I mean, I'm not going to say anything because you may not have seen the movie, so no spoilers, I promise. But there's a lot to explore with Bats in this that's really interesting. And the story that they're telling here, along with the combination of the cinematography, the sound design, the performances, the directing, all of that, I use this term a lot, it brings across this kind of, this visual and this storytelling synergy that makes the film fantastic. I mean, it's crazy good. And I say it all the time. And listen, I got to give it some love as an unapologetic Marvel fanboy. This movie is amazing. Amazing. So I love it. But that's why I think you have the dichotomy. That's why I think you have the variance in how some people feel about this film and they love it, and some people feel about this film and they hate it. It's a split with the fan base because DC is moving away from its core. It's not how DC was built. DC was not built around dark characters. DC, by and large, was not built around flawed characters. So that's why we have the difference in those who are DC fans that love it and hate it. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.